Somehow, Colton is still on my damn screen. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, welcome to Press Play with Lay. My name's Lay, and this is the podcast where I really just talk about whatever I want regarding TV show recaps, maybe even throw in some pop culture. I don't know. This is my third episode, so we'll have time to figure it out. Anyways, today's episode we're going to be covering the Traitors US Season 4, Episode 6 that just dropped tonight. Well, I don't know by the time y'all will be seeing it. It could be any time. But right now, it happened tonight. And I just watched it, and frankly, I'm pissed. I'm pissed that weird-ass stalker Colton is still on my freaking screen, and I still have to look at him. And he had, if y'all watch his eyes, he's got crazy in his eyes. And I'm concerned for all of the people that are on there. And also, in real life, he's also gotten into fights with people who have been on Traitors previously, people who have history in game shows. He's just rubbing everybody the wrong way. So I'm hoping that they continue down this path of giving him this edit where it makes him look controlling, because that's what he is. And also, he's a stalker, and he stalked Cassie from his season of The Bachelor that everyone seems to keep forgetting about. So I don't like Colton. I wanted him off my screen. They could not pull it off. I don't know what they're doing. I genuinely don't know. They're also not even voting off Traitors. They're not voting off Traitors, and they're also not voting off the people I want off. Sweet little Ron, yeah, he was weird. Yeah, he was an introvert. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to talk about his family. Okay, whatever. But that man wasn't a traitor. If anyone had thought at all, they know logically they wouldn't pick him to be a traitor. He's a lone wolf. They're not going to pick him. I'm sorry. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and get into the recap. So this week there is no murder. Surprisingly, none of the faithfuls or traitors took a shield in the last mission. So there's no murder tonight. Yay. Just kidding. So everyone comes to breakfast. Everyone's happy. They're all proud of themselves and each other for not picking a shield. But also it makes sense that no one did, because if you did take a shield and they found out, then you're kind of an instant banishment target. Because why would you take a shield if everyone else is going to remain faithful? Just saying. But anyways, there was nobody who took a shield, so there was no traitor murder overnight. Which kind of just throws a wrench in this whole thing. If the traitors were able to make a vote, then they could have gotten Colton out, and there wouldn't be any of this other issue. There wouldn't be this presence who's calling people out and stirring the vote in the opposite directions and causing chaos and confusion amongst the regular people who I guess have no say and have no thoughts about anything and can't think for themselves. They need, Daddy Colton to help them. God forbid. Anyways, so everyone's happy in the morning. Then Alan comes in, says there's been no murder. Everyone remained faithful and did not take a shield. And then he lets them know about their mission this afternoon, which was giving a little spooky, little suspicious, but they weren't 100% sure what their mission was going to be. So the mission was all of our players head to a haunted house / grave site / cabin in the woods vibe. Also / escape room. Anyways, basically they all go into the room and they have to solve these puzzles. Some is like a little Ouija board that's moving on the tables. Sometimes there's blood pouring down, showing up letters on the wall, whatever. They have to use these clues to decode a name. And they send 2 players out at a time from the cabin, and they have to find the gravestone that correlates to the name that they were just given in their clue. And once they get to the gravesite, they will, if they're correct, they will get $3,000 added to the prize fund. There is also a shield gravestone, and if the players who go out so choose, they can also pick a shield. Honestly, nothing super interesting happens from this. We know that Candace and Tara are super scared, so they're the ones who want to leave the haunted house cabin thing first. And they unfortunately did not hear the last part of the name, so they got that part wrong. But every other team was able to get their names correct, and they were able to add money to the prize fund. So they're doing pretty good about adding money. Nobody ended up taking a shield. Jam Jam kind of wanted to, but Mora was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, we're not taking a shield, because everyone had agreed not to. And Natalie was super strict, and she was like, if anyone takes a shield, then they're going to be banished tonight. It was very serious. So, sorry, my cat got wrapped up in all of the cords and knocked my camera over. So, if it's at a different angle now, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for y'all. But you'll be okay. Anyway, so moving on. That was the mission. Everyone heads back to the castle. Nothing really to say for it besides they got a lot of money and nobody took a shield. So there's still a lot of trust amongst the group. But I should say that while they were in the car ride to the mission, Colton tells everybody in his car that he is gunning for Lisa. And I think the people in his car was like Dorinda and Rob and Tara. So he trusts them and lets them know. And Rob has to play it off like, yeah, that's plausible, and make it seem like he really truly thinks it could be Lisa, which, I mean, we'll see later on that he doesn't have a lot of whatever with her. Anyway, so Rob's like, yeah, it's plausible. And that lets Colton know that, hey, Rob probably isn't a traitor since he wouldn't go against his own. So now they're back in the castle. Colton is doubling down on his strategy about going for Lisa. When talking to people, he goes back to the first vote where she voted out Portia, who was a fellow housewife. And he was like, it is an unspoken rule to not go against housewives. And Lisa was the one housewife to go against her own. Which, yeah, when Lisa did that initially, I was like, bad move, girl. But also, I don't think it's that serious to be thinking she's a traitor. Also, why is this your 15th name that you've thrown out, Colton? You'd be pissing me off if I was in that castle. But him going and saying this has made not a ton of people, but has held weight for some people, like Natalie, for example. She's like, yeah, it is weird that she did that. But Colton throwing out all these names is getting other people to suspect Colton, which they already were from last episode where he swung and missed with Tiffany, swung and missed with Michael. No one seems to really care that much about Michael because, like, duh, we didn't like him. He was a terrible human being. But with Tiffany, she's great. And he was the one going after her with zero evidence. So now we got the coup. Now we got a coup happening. We got Johnny, and he's saying all we need is 8 faithfuls that we all trust that can control the whole round table. So he's collecting his little group of people. He's got Tara in there, Mora, Rob, Candace, who are traitors, but he says that he trusts them, so whatever. In this case, I'm going to support them because I want Colton gone. He gathers them all. I think Kristen, Eric, Steven, Mark are all included in this group. And he is like, this may be our one shot to get out Colton. Because the more we keep talking about him, the more it's going to get back to him soon. And so we kind of got to do it tonight. They tell Rob. Rob is not really on board for it. I don't know what Rob is doing. I guess he's trying to keep his people close. Because I guess it could be suspicious if he went against Colton so easily. But also, I don't think it's that weird since Rob's kind of... I mean, he's got some people that he's close to, but I don't think he's, like, best friends with Colton. I don't know. But Rob's playing this whole like, guys, this is what we keep doing. We keep switching from one person to the other person, which he gonna switch up later. So clock that. But he's saying we were on Rob and now we're on Colton. Like, we kind of just got to stick to a plan and actually go with it. Whatever. So it's kind of like a half coup. A half coup because not everyone is committed, but they're really trying to get Colton out eventually. Okay, so now fast forward to the round table. Guys, this round table was crazy. From how it started to how it ended was a whirlwind. At first, literally nobody wants to talk. They're just looking around, hoping someone will take the lead. Then Rod eventually is like, I mean, we gotta use the time, so might as well talk. And Mark, I believe it was Mark, he comes in and he was like, I mean, these are the reasons why we think you're a traitor, Portia vote, how you're kind of inconsistent within the house, and I would just like you to have an opportunity to defend yourself. And boy, did he eat down with his defense. He was saying, I swung, I missed. I made a bad decision on the Portia vote. But Colton over here, he can swing and miss with Tiffany. He can swing and miss with Michael. But because we don't like Michael, it doesn't matter. No, he still did the same thing as me, yet you guys are all coming for me. No notes. No notes, no notes, no notes. I'm sorry. So yeah, like literally, like Ron's calling those people out for their double standard because it's a huge ass double standard. But Colton, I think, has more of a social game, so he's able to convince people, be wrong, bounce back from it the next episode, and still lead a bunch of people, to go and pick the same person that he wants gone. And everyone just kind of goes along with it. But Ron, because he's more of an introvert, he's a more quiet guy, he's not great at the social game, they're going to throw him under the bus. They're going to throw him away as soon as they can. And so a lot of people at this point are thinking that it may just be more beneficial to go for Ron just so we can finally know, since his name has been brought up from the beginning, we can finally know if he's a traitor or a faithful. And that'll be more helpful than harmful to us because he already is doing more harm than good right now with how up in the air he seems to be in their perspective. And then Colton's name gets thrown out. When Ron brings up Colton, everyone kind of jumps on ship. They're like, yeah, Colton, I also want to hold you accountable. I think Kristen is the one who initially says this. I want to hold you accountable for being wrong with the Tiffany vote and being wrong with the Michael vote. Because of these things, you seem suspicious. You say a lot of names. You seem to be trying to be in control of the house or of the castle a lot of the time. And you've been wrong every single time, and yet you're still trying to lead us in a certain direction that you see best fit. And Colton is slightly taken aback, but I think he eventually saw this coming, that people were going to go for him. And he is saying, like, I have been a faithful this whole time. Yes, I have played a reckless game, but I have played a bold game. And I am just trying to find the traitors and get them out. And he says, and since we're already here and everybody's already coming for me, I'm going to go ahead and say it to everybody. I think Lisa is a traitor. This is the first time he's been right. Yet he is talking about her the same way he was talking about Tiffany, the same way he was talking about Michael, and was wrong. This is like the boy who cried wolf, At this point, it's like, who believes him? However, he did come with more evidence in the Tiffany vote. I don't know how he has more evidence for Lisa than the Tiffany vote, yet he was still able to get everyone to go for Tiffany. Whatever. I digress. I'm still upset about that, but whatever. So Colton brings up Lisa. He says she voted for Portia in the original vote, and that's suspicious because housewives don't go for housewives. Also, this Lisa that I'm seeing in front of me is not the Lisa that I know from her housewife show. There's no spiciness. She's not taking a leadership role. She's just kind of sitting back and watching. And to Colton, that has been suspicious from the beginning. So he makes his big speech, and he's kind of convincing some people. So now our three people that are up to vote, because it kind of went all over the place, but the three people that have the most suspicion thrown on them is Colton, Ron, and Lisa. And Lisa's been like the first time a traitor has been mentioned at a round table. So we're all like, shoot, I don't know how this is going to go, because Colton may still be able to sway people. But it is vote time, and everyone is picking and writing down the names of who they think. Rob is taking his sweet time, though. And Alan literally has to say, like, hate to rush it, bro, but you gotta write down a name. And he finally does. And we're going around the table. And it is pretty neck and neck between Colton, Ron, and Lisa. Like, pretty neck and neck, which is not good that that people were able to be swayed so easily. But anyways, Lisa votes for Colton, and Candace votes for Ron. And the one traitor who has decided to break away from his fellow traitors, Rob, votes for Lisa. And this has been the first time that they have gone against each other in a vote. And I semi-understand where Rob is coming from. Like, yes, it's suspicious if he didn't go with Colton, since they have been pretty close and he has been one of his trusted allies. But go for Ron. Yes, I know you like Ron. Yes, I know you don't think he's a traitor, okay? But I don't know why he switched up his game to start saying, like, I think Ron is innocent. I don't think he's a traitor. I don't know why he's saying that when he doesn't need to. He could have easily gone with Ron. I get that it helps his game that he didn't. I get that. But to me, it feels too early when they've been playing so well to go against a fellow traitor when it's not going to be immensely beneficial to you. Now, I understand if it was just Colton versus Lisa, your hands are tied at that point. But you have the Ron vote. I know you like Ron, but I mean, he's not tied to anybody. You're not going to get any backlash from that. So I don't really know what Rob is doing, but live your life king. Do what you want. I'm still going to be rooting for you, but you kind of messed this up for your own self, especially going against a housewife. Ugh. Buddy, I hate to say, you were in Love Island. It has nothing on housewives, okay? She gonna eat you up. So after the votes are all counted, it is Ron who ends up getting banished, and he goes on the circle of truth and reveals that he was a faithful the whole time. And it is yet another disappointing blow for our faithfuls who have, for like the 18th time in a row, been wrong. So after Ron goes, Alan comes and says there's gonna be a special little banquet tonight. So go and get dressed into your finest little banquet attire and come back down. And then we get a flashback to last episode where they didn't get to murder anyone. Alan comes in and says there is going to be another murder in plain sight. And that the traitor who is wearing this little brooch, whoever touches that brooch first is going to be the one that gets murdered. And I was like, hell, because there is no shot that Colton's going to get close enough. Because Lisa's the one who decides she's going to wear it. But there's no shot after what just happened at Roundtable that Colton's going to get close enough to Lisa for her to be able to kill him. And he's already suspicious of her. So Colton's going to be in my castle another damn week. Whatever. So that is their plan for the traitors. And so now we flash forward to current reality time, whatever, real timeline. I don't know. We flash forward to now, and the traitors have a little small secret meeting in the kitchen while they're trying to get everyone away. They're pissed. They're pissed at Rob. They're like, bro, it doesn't make any sense. There is no reason you needed to vote for Lisa. She was one vote away from getting sent home, and you almost screwed us. You almost screwed the hell out of us. Rob claims that he felt pressured between protecting Ron, staying on Colton's good side and kind of semi-protecting him and making himself still seem faithful in Colton's eyes, and sticking with his traitor alliance. And he made the decision that he felt was best for him in that moment. So they're still mad. Freaking Candace is throwing cookies at him. I'm just glad nobody walked in on them because they looked hella suspicious in this moment. But yeah, they're pissed at him. It doesn't really make a lot of sense in their eyes. So he's just gonna have to, let all these insults roll off his back because they have got a mission to do, and that is to find somebody to kill tonight. And since the brooch is on Lisa, they kind of let Lisa, they're like, okay, you can decide. You do what you want to do. Rob's like, I wouldn't go for anyone that voted for you tonight because then it looks suspicious, but at the end of the day, it is up to you. And that is pretty much the end of the episode. Now we're kind of left with like this cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen next episode. We don't know who's going to get murdered. Everyone looks good though. They all are dressed to the nines in our sneak peek for next episode. So I'm excited to see how it's going to go. I'm excited to see who they end up killing. Also looks like there's a fight that breaks out. ? Like a physical fight. But hey, that's TV, baby. I'm trying to see it too. So anyways, that is episode 6 of The Traitors. If you enjoyed this video, then please go ahead and like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, press play with Lay, and turn on them notifications so you can get notified when I post next. And yeah, that is it. And I will see you guys next week for episode 7 with another recap. Bye.